Oh my goodness, this is so scary. Hello everybody, and welcome to the very first Streamstructor. This is live. You will be able to comment and say hello to me at various points. Please don't mind me, I'm in the middle of just trying to get my tablet up ready to answer any questions or comments you guys may have here. Hello, welcome. Now, this is going to be a kind of thing I do every month. Once a month, I'm going to live stream, kind of like a little mini broadcast of a TV channel for about an hour. So it's going to be interspersed with me talking like this to you on camera. It's also going to be interspersed with a little bit more of a kind of video showcase of what's been on the channel in the past. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But I just want to apologise very quickly. Facebook Live isn't working today. I did post that on the Deanstructor Facebook page that it will be working. It's only available on YouTube. I will post something on the Facebook page once the next bit is running on here, just to let people know to come over. But yeah, if you're watching, hello, thank you very much for watching so far. If you want to leave a comment, just go to the comment section, leave a comment on the side in the chat, or leave a comment down below if you're watching this afterwards. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go through a quick schedule about what we're playing today, and just chat through what we're going to do. Now, these are timings based on just very briefly, they're based on timings for what videos will be coming out and when. So here we go. We have here, these are rough timings. So at 2 minutes past the hour, which should be about now, my very first vlog. Now, this was originally 2 parts, and this was originally created as part of me moving into YouTubing face to face, and this was the very first time on piece to camera. It wasn't 2 parts. YouTube only allowed 10 minutes originally, but hey, what can you do? It's one of these things. So it's going to be embarrassing 15 minutes watching that, but we'll see what happens. Then afterwards, we'll do a bit of chat about that, a bit of discussion about that, and then we'll move on to 6 facts. The very first 6 facts of the historical figures. Henry VIII will be the next one we use. And then we go into Kidstructor, the very first Kidstructor, Thomas the Tank Engine. One of the most popular series on the channel so far. Last week's one with Jamie and Fraser for Banana Man was brilliant. Worth a laugh. Quite fun, really, in that respect. And then we have Deanstructor Reviews Doctor Who, the very first Doctor Who story, and Unearthly Child. Quite adequate, because this month is anniversary of Doctor Who being first broadcast. So that is your schedule for this. Now, I'm going to play the next bit here, and it's going to be the very first vlog. So here we go. This could be embarrassing. Leave some comments down below, have some chat with me on it, and I will catch up with you after the next bit of the play out. Let's go, shall we? Let's have a go.
Hiya, I'm Barry, I'm 24, bit unshaven as you can see, bit unshaven here, cut myself just there, I'm blind as you can see, hair's not exactly nice. This is my first blog. Yes, a blog. Now, this is, ooh, what's this? Ah, haha, another camera. Just shows you that. Well, it's effectively what I do. I'm a podcaster. I create podcasts for a channel called the Podcast Channel, and that's basically what I do during the day. This is at night. You can see the curtains closed there, purely because the daylight's causing a problem with the camera. I'm a bit of a stickler like that, and you'll probably find that as we go along. Before I start though, I want to give a few shout outs. Hello to my sister Kerry, hello to Mum, to Dad, and then to the podcast team at Podcast Towers. People like Paul, Joe, Nancy, Dave, Ken, Dion, Tracy, Laura, Catherine, is it Catherine? Catherine, and former Podcast Tower members of The Ear. Hello, hope you're enjoying everything in Goa, James. Derek and Karen. Hi. But yeah, that's my shout outs. Now, I've been looking at blogs for quite a while on YouTube. I think YouTube's a fantastic thing to have. And I've come across quite a few YouTube names that I think are quite cool. And I'm going to name them. The first one is the Podcast Channel. Of course. I run that channel on YouTube, so the videos go up there are mine, or I create them, because that's what I do. I'm an editor. I edit audio, I edit some video, although this one will be rather bad because I'm not very good at PTC, or as they call it, piece to camera. So basically that's me sitting in front of you talking and saying blah 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 blah. But that's basically... I'm sorry, this is embarrassing. This is the first time I've actually done this face to face, and it may come across a bit iffy, so... sorry, I started yabbering away there. I tend to do that, so if I start fading out and fading back in, then that's why. I like the podcast channel's YouTube. I think the link will be down there somewhere. And I also like two others. Well, three others, but one of them is merged together with somebody else. First one is a YouTube account called Bobby Lou. Now, this is Red Dwarf actor and TV presenter Robert Llewellyn, who played Crichton. Yes, and he last year he did a blog about making do, and basically what he did is he didn't buy anything for himself for a year. Yeah, he fed himself and so forth, and so he still buy food, but that was on a family basis. But for personally himself, he didn't buy anything. So at the end of the year, he's getting bedraggled, he's using razors here that are getting a bit churned up, he's not wearing contacts anymore. I mean, you can see the result, you can actually see some of the results, because for the first Scrap Heap Challenge, which is another thing he's done recently, which he's more popular for, the last Scrap Heap Challenge series, which is just about finished, it's got another one next week, that is the first one that he's actually worn his glasses most of the time. As you can see, I'm blind. Well, I'm not that blind, I can still see the camera quite clearly here, but if we come further back, well, it's getting a bit blurry, but there, fine. So that proved, because beforehand he didn't wear the glasses. Now, I'm assuming that's because of contacts. It might be wrong, let me know if it's wrong, Robert, but I kind of thought, well, that's showing the making do here, you know? But he did a blog, it was about 25 blogs he did on making do, and it was really interesting, and to quote one of his characters on YouTube, Robert Llewellyn, you're extraordinary. But well, that's not very good. The other name, well, two names, are Tony Coburn, otherwise known as Time Lord from Hell, and Thomas Rhys Kay, Mr. Crevice himself, or the Master Crevice. I don't know if this finger point is working, because I've actually not seen the screen because it was distracting. I tried to record it before and it was distracting me because I was looking at the screen instead of looking at the actual camera when you're supposed to be looking at the camera. So I haven't used this time that's turned round. But they are very good. They are Doctor Who fans. They're only teenagers. I want to say only. They're great in what they do. Their production values, all right. They're very good with what they use, and they're brilliant at it. I mean, they know more about Pinnacle Studio than I do. But then again, I'm a Final Cut Pro man, so even though this could be edited in Pinnacle Studio, so I'll say that now. Studio 9. I've not got the latest software, but then again, I have been concentrating on the more professional stuff. This is a more personal thing for me. But I'm testing out a new camera. This is a new camera here. It's a new Samsung. It's a Samsung Digital Cam. So I'm enjoying looking at it. I'm just trying to think of the, what does it say? VP-D371W. And get my Nalgos. I'm not going to say how much it is, because I'll give the game away. But the reason why I've got a DV cam and not an HD cam is because this camera will be used alongside another camera, which is this one, here. It's an older one, it's Canon. But the problem with this one is the battery's a bit worn on it, so it's a bit of a pain. So this has a longer lasting battery which charges quite easily, which is a hell of a lot easier to use. So this little thing here will become the main camera you see on the podcast, but because it's mini DV, there's not going to be a variation in formats. So that's basically what we're using. We use bigger cameras, we have bigger cameras, but for the normal roadshow stuff to be less intrusive, we have these small cameras here which don't look as bad. And for the internet, you know, you can get away with it. Now, one thing I will be a bit annoyed about in this is the sound. This doesn't have a mic connection in it at the side. This camera here, if I open it up, has a mic thing. Look, has it there, and that you're able to plug in a mini mic, a time mic, or even if you've got the right technology, you're able to plug in a normal dynamic. I think I've got one there. I won't bother about that just now. The background behind me is curtains drawn, as you might see that. I'm sorry about that. My mum came in. Yes, I still live at home. But then again, it's so expensive nowadays. You notice that? It's so expensive. I mean, I used to think that you'd have 2 people in a house and you could afford to live. I think you really need 3 now because the cost of living so much when it comes to housing and rental. It's a bit ridiculous. I mean, a mortgage is supposed to be 3 to 5 times your salary, right? I think it's 3 actually, but now you're paying probably about 7, 8 times your salary because normal houses aren't 25,000, 30,000 anymore. They're 250,000 and 300,000. Up in Scotland, because I'm based in Scotland, I'm an East Kilbride, it's not so bad. It's a little cheaper, but it's still 4 or 5 times your mortgage value, and that's dangerous when the interest rates are going up. It really is dangerous. But anyway, back to what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Yes, Tony Coburn and Thomas Rees Kay. You guys are very good. You're very good production technology-wise. And you do a lot. You're Doctor Who fans, which is another thing I love. Hey, yep. Oh, even better. There we go. And this. No, I have to show you guys this. This we got from Mum and Dad got when they went down to Great Yarmouth. Now this, I don't know if you can see that. This is a £5 note. But the difference is, if you can see that, it's got pictures of David Tennant, Freema Agyeman, is that one? Yeah, Freema Agyeman, and John Barrowman. And there's that one. There's a Blink one. Look at that. I think that's cool. There's a £10 one. An Evolution of the Daleks, Dalek Sec. Human Dalek Sec. There we go. And there's a £50 one. Very nice, isn't it? Very Juduni. And of what I understand, this was inspired because if you are a Doctor Who fan, you'll know The Runaway Bride, the Doctor uses a cash machine. Now, legally in television, you cannot use legal currency on television. So they had to create... Sorry, I'm just putting it away. You had to create your own notes. And that's the inspiration for them. And that's fantastic. But I am a Doctor Who fan. I have been for 11 years now. 12 years. 12 years. It was a TV movie that introduced me, not the new series, which is interesting because I'm one of these fans that's quite strange like that. And I'm trying to complete the video collection. I'm trying to complete the DVD collection. 11 years going, still to go. But Thomas Rees Kay and Tony Coburn, that's it. Back to them. They are Doctor Who fans, and they make their own Doctor Who series. And I watch every video that comes out from them because they're funny guys. They're great guys, and if you do catch this, guys, whether it's now or whether it's in 6 years' time, you are absolutely fantastic. And I appreciate everything you do. You've got a great fandom, and there's reason for having a great fandom because you are so good. That's fine. That's done. Okay. Now, I have a website, which is Doctor Who related. That's the reason I mentioned Doctor Who. And you'll notice on my profile, I'm putting the computer screen's there, you see, so I'm pointing on there because that's usually where I look. It's a bit strange. This camera's sitting on top of... it's sitting on top of a pile of floppy disks. Yes, I know. Floppy disks. Something you don't really hear. I mean, anybody under the age of 12 is going, what's a floppy disk? But I'll prove it. Look. Hold on. Yeah. Look. Floppy disk. Haha. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. Right. Oh. Right, anyway. And look, there's tapes there, look. Tapes. I'm playing up to camera now. I'm sorry. I'll behave myself. The intention of starting these blogs is basically that over the next few months it's going to be busy. It's going to be chocker. On Friday, which is the 18th of July, which this blog should be up for by then. This was recorded on the Wednesday. The 16th of July. By then, I should have it up. But this blog will continue because I'm going to see if I can snatch a couple of shots at the Cumbernauld Roadshow we do for the podcast channel. Here's the address here. It's www. Now, I won't even do that, I'll just put it up. www.thepodcastchannel.co.uk. Yes, www.thepodcastchannel.co.uk. That's the site I have been working on. That's what I work with. If you want to find more personal things, because I'm planning to do my own personal podcast, hence the reason I mentioned Tony Coburn and Thomas Rees K, because I'd like to speak to you to maybe do an interview with you over either Skype or old-fashioned telephone, whatever's suitable for you. I don't think High Wycombe's really a travel place I could really go to at the moment. I'd have to make a weekend of it. But we'll see. But yeah, that's the basic idea. Tony, I didn't realise you had a sister. Is that true? Do you have a sister? Because I didn't realise until a couple of days ago, because I read the comments, and your sister, and somebody who seems to be your sister popped up, and I hope it's your sister. My apologies if it isn't. What am I talking about? Ah, right, talking complete guff. I'm sorry. Now, if this goes into another 10 minutes, then it goes into another 10 minutes. Let's just check that. Let's have a look. Oh, I've gone way over. So this will be in 2 parts anyway. Oh, right, okay. I don't like that colour scheme. Oh, it's picking up me fine. That's fine. Oh, cool. So you have got me then. You have got most of what I've been talking about. Alright, well, I'll see how this goes back, see how it works, and if it works, then it'll be up. But my own website is www.deanstructor.net. That's www.deanstructor.net. Aha. Gotcha. Okay, I'm just going to move that over. There we go. Right, well, that's me for now. Thanks for finding this. And check out my videos that I've got elsewhere and keep coming back. Thanks a lot.
Oh my god, that was horrible watching that. That was horrible watching that. It's usually why I don't bother doing these sort of things, because it's really I don't like watching myself back that far back. Oh, so bad, so bad. But that's the thing, have those reactions, have these chats with you guys, tell me what you think of that if you were watching that, even if it's pre-recorded and you're watching it later. Leave a comment down below. Oh, that's embarrassing. I don't know if I'm going red in this camera or not, I'm not sure. There was a bit of buffering issues, I believe, at the during the view of that, so if you were trying to watch it and it got a bit stuck, my apologies in advance. Hasn't dropped any frames at my end, but YouTube's obviously not picking up a lot at their end, which is a bit of a problem. But hey, it's one of these things, I suppose. So yeah, hello, if you're just joining me, hello, welcome to the very first Streamstructor. Plan is to do this every first Sunday of the month, 4 PM GMT, UTC +0. I'm broadcasting live here on YouTube, and I'll be with you until about 5 o'clock. We'll go quickly over the schedule of what's still to come in the next half an hour or so. So here we go. Now, we've just had my first ever vlog, Barry's Vlogs, up there. Next will be a 6 facts on Henry VIII. Now, that series kind of started off the back of the Battle of Hastings and how that worked. And then it became a bigger thing all the way down. If you want to leave a comment down the side of the chat if you're watching it live. If you're watching it afterwards, leave a comment down below. I'll try and reply to them the next time round. But yes, so here we go. So yeah, that was embarrassing watching that. I really am embarrassed watching that again. But you know what? I'm planning to do most of the vlogs in chronological order, so I'll get better and I'll feel more comfortable watching them as I go along, because they do get better. But that's the first one, anyway, of the very first vlog. And here is the very first of the 6 facts of historical figures, starting with a very jolly man, and it is Henry VIII. And it's time to go and play the next video in our broadcast. Here we are, 6 facts on Henry VIII. Henry VIII was actually quite the intellectual. He was patron of the King's College in Cambridge and was a keen jouster and real tennis player. He was also a musician who could play the lute and the organ, and also a great composer, although he didn't write Greensleeves. He was seen as the father of the Royal Navy. When he came to the throne in 1509, there were only 5 ships. By the time he died, there was about 50. He also founded the Navy Board, set up to administrate the Navy, and the Royal Naval Dock in Portsmouth. His most famous ship, of course, was the Mary Rose, which sunk off the coast of Portsmouth in 1545. Henry is portrayed as a glutton, munching through turkey legs at a rate of knots, but was actually quite a fastidious eater. He preferred to eat alone most of the time in his apartments, but he was a showman, unlike his thrifty father Henry VII, and he held big banquets and events showing his pomp and power, the most famous being the Field of the Cloth of Gold in 1520. Henry wasn't supposed to be king at all. His older brother Arthur died in 1502, shortly after marrying a certain Catherine of Aragon. Henry then became heir to the throne. Henry is known for creating the Church of England, but actually wasn't that Protestant at all. He in fact created the church after the Pope would not allow him to divorce Catherine, whom he married in 1509. The creation of the Church of England was to allow him to divorce Catherine so he could marry Anne Boleyn. Henry was a staunch defender of the Catholic faith, even writing a book against Martin Luther's teachings. He was given the title Defender of the Faith by the Pope for this book, a title which the monarch holds to this day. Henry was the chief instigator in the Rough Wooing, a period of unrest between the Scottish and English in the 1540s. The main aim of Henry's was for Mary, Queen of Scots, to marry his son Edward. When the Scots refused, he put political pressure on them. The war ended a couple of years after his death, after Mary left for France, where she would go on to marry the French Dauphin, Francis. He's the man of indomitable spirit. He is Winston Churchill. So there we go. We have 6 facts of Henry VIII, the very first of that format that I did, and it spurned out quite a couple of series there. It's more special to do with that now, but you never know. There's a few that I might be able to go back to it again. It's just the research and the time it takes to put it all together, and the way work life was at that point when I was doing them. It was a bit more difficult. Anyway. Welcome back to Streamstructor. This is the first live stream I've done, and I'm broadcasting kind of like a TV series with kind of envisioning continuity and chat to you guys and that. Leave your comments on the side, say hello, what you think about what you've seen so far. I'm here till about 5 o'clock, and I've got a schedule up of a couple of videos that you guys will be able to see and watch at various points. I'm just keep checking my tablet to see if there's any comments and that below, because I don't want to really interfere with the laptop as much. I don't want any dropping frames. There has been a few issues with that today at YouTube's end. There's not been any drop frames as far as I understand from my end, but that doesn't make it much of a difference, I suppose. But yes, no, that was 6 facts. The series does continue, but very intermediate as it is at the moment. But thank you very much, guys, for watching and dropping in. I've had a couple of viewers in here so far. No comments so far, but do you know what? It's one of these things. It's a new thing. It's new. It will build momentum, I'm sure of it, as time goes on. It will be every Sunday, first Sunday of every month at 4 PM GMT, UTC +0. So I hope you can join me for that. Leave a comment down below if you're watching this after the fact, so I can speak to you and talk to you next time round, and leave a comment there. And hello whoever's watching at the moment. There's a couple of you watching just now. I know there's somebody keeps going in and out and watching it, so thank you very much for that. It's much appreciated today, whoever that is. I'm sure I'll catch up with you later. I'm sure it's one of my buds. Anyway, right, okay, so this is the rest of the schedule. As you can see, I've already done 2 of them. I've done the first vlog. That was really embarrassing. And then we've got 6 Facts and Henry VIII, which I've just done there. The next bit is actually for Kidstructor, the very first Kidstructor, Thomas the Tank Engine. Now, this series has been doing quite well recently, with Fraser and Jamie and I doing stuff. The next one is in December, because this month is all Doctor Who related, and I'll explain a bit more after the next bit of the video. Next bit of the stream here, so after this video I'll discuss more about that, but yeah, I'm looking forward to next month. It's actually one of my favourite ones, and I've kept the best till last, I think, so hopefully you guys agree with me when you see it. Anyway, we'll move on and play the next video now. As you can see, the timings are rough. I am slightly ahead of time at the moment because of the comments going on at the moment, but I'll keep going, you never know, might get a bit of conversation at the other end, you never know. Leave a comment if you're saying hello, leave a comment down below, of course, leave in the chat, and I'll talk and say hello as we go along. But here we go, we'll go on to the next bit now, and we'll play the next bit, which is, of course, going on for the, yeah, I'm gonna go and do a bit of, Kidstructoring now, and with Thomas the Tank Engine. So here we go with the very first Kidstructor, all the way back in 2017. Hello everybody, welcome to the first of a series of 6 of my childish project. This has been talked about for months on Piece to Camera and through vlogs and so forth, and I have tried it once before, but it didn't quite work because the subject matter I picked didn't quite give me the reactions I need. This is a reaction series, so I'm going to be reacting to 6 episodes or 6 programs from my childhood. 6 TV programs that I watched as a kid. A lot of exciting episodes coming up. Hopefully you agree with that. But the first one I'm going to do is of a series that started the year after I was born, 1984, and is still going strong even today, although it's not with any models anymore like it was originally. And it fascinated me as a child, and I actually managed to find the episode which I remember most vividly as well. So I'm going to watch that, I'm going to react to that. You will see clips of what I'm reacting to probably down in this corner here. If not, it'll be that corner there, whatever corner it is. You'll see it being reacted to. And I hope you enjoy what you see. So let's get going, shall we? Right, so I've got to set up my laptop here, so I'm going to be looking this direction for the laptop, so please don't ignore me. Please don't think bad of me when you see me watch this. So here we go. Hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Well, I think this is the remastered titles, because I'm sure it wasn't as clean as that originally. The Sad Story of Henry. Now, it's only lasting about 5 minutes, so this will be quite short compared to some of them I'm doing in this series. But it's one of the original series because it's Ringo Starr narrating it.
Once, an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain.
Was it?
It went into a tunnel and squeaked through its funnel and wouldn't come out again.
Oh, right, okay. Selfish train.
Then, along came Sir Topham Hatt, the man in charge of all the engines.
The Fat Controller!
They call him the Fat Controller.
Yeah.
Everyone pulled except the Fat Controller, because, he said, my doctor has forbidden me to pull. But still Henry stayed in the tunnel. Then they tried pushing from the other end. The Fat Controller said, 1, 2, 3, push!
There's not enough of them to push it, though, that's the thing. Couldn't have been a lot of passengers on that carriage.
My doctor has forbidden me to push, he said. They pushed and pushed and pushed, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. Thomas pushed and puffed and pushed as hard.
It's not really
as
Thomas
ever.
you want to push for that. It'll be Gordon, because he's the heavier train.
But still Henry stayed in the tunnel.
Yes, he's been stubborn, isn't he? Come on, Henry, you're going to burn out Thomas here. Oh, here we go.
Took up the old rails and built a wall in front of him so that Henry
Oh, I love the
couldn't get
music.
out of the tunnel anymore.
What? No, hang on a minute, you can't stop there. You can't stop there. Hang on a minute, I've never noticed a cliffhanger before in Thomas the Tank Engine. Oof. I'll have to get the next one and find out what happens to him now. Oh no, what's going to happen to Henry? He's going to be stuck in that tunnel forever? Let's have a look, shall we? Right, let's get the next episode up then. Fortunately, I have it saved. And to sort of save a couple just in case this one didn't work and it happened to be the next one off. So let's see how this one turns out. Does Henry get out the tunnel? Let's see. Oh, he must do. Edward, Gordon, Henry. Okay.
Gordon always pulled the big express. He was proud of being the only engine strong enough to do so.
See, that's what I'm saying. He should have pushed Henry out the tunnel.
Like the Fat Controller, and Gordon was seeing how fast he could go. Hurry, 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 he said. Tickety-tock, tickety-tock,
Love the music.
tickety-tock, said the coaches.
Very 80s.
In a minute, dear, thought Henry, why did I worry about rain spoiling my lovely coat of paint? Will the Fat Controller ever forgive me and let me out again?
No, he won't.
I'm going to poop at Henry, said Gordon.
Quite right, Gordon.
He was almost there.
Being really sadistic at this.
And there was Gordon going slower and slower.
Oh
In a
no!
cloud of steam. His driver stopped the train.
Something's broken on
What
Gordon.
has happened to me? Asked Gordon. I feel so weak. Edward was the only engine left.
Oh,
I'll come
dear.
and try, he said. Huh, said Gordon. That's no use. Edward can't push the train.
No, it's probably a bit too heavy for you, Edward, unfortunately.
Edward puffed and pushed and
Oh,
pushed
dear.
and puffed, but he couldn't move the heavy coaches. Will you help pull this train, Henry? He asked. Oh, yes, said Henry.
Maybe not with the rolling eyes.
When Henry came
I love
back,
the fact
he
the trains
felt
could go
much
backwards. I don't think they could.
better. Then they cut
Gordon
it
looked unhappy
together.
in the
We've
corner.
done it
Love it.
together, said Edward and Henry. You've done it, hooray! You've done it, hooray! Sang the coaches.
You've done it, hooray! Yay, Henry's out of
The
there.
controller leaned out of the window to wave at Edward and Henry. But the train was going so fast that his hat blew off into a field where a goat ate it for tea.
Oh, which becomes a running joke in the series, if I remember correctly.
All three engines are now great friends.
I wonder why.
Henry doesn't mind the rain now. He knows that the best way to keep his paint nice is not to run into tunnels, but to ask his driver to rub him down when the day's work is over.
That's what you should have done in the first place. Oh, I'm glad that was a happy ending there for for Henry. There we are, 2 episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. I was only expecting to do 1, but I had to find out what happened to Henry. I mean, you can't leave Henry in the tunnel forever and ever. But there we are. Oh dear. That was actually quite fun. If that's what it's going to be like for the rest of them, I'm really going to enjoy this series, reacting to these videos. I know what I'm doing next. I'll let you into a secret of what it is. Nah, I'm not going to. You'll have to find out next time. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching, as always. If you like what you see, please don't forget to subscribe and comment below. Pass it on to your friends, share it out, let people know what's happening here. Tell me what your memories are of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, and give me suggestions of what kids' TV shows of the 80s and 90s that I could watch in the future. Anyway, that's it for now. If you have been watching, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.
Well, I'm very aware that there may have been a bit of issue with the streaming then. I saw it happening as I was moving along. I'm sorry, guys, if you are watching this and you are getting a bit of a delay here. There was an issue in regards to streaming at my end this time. And my CPU was running a bit fast, so I was having a bit of a problem. There was a few drop frames this time round. PC, the laptop basically getting a little bit warm where I was sitting. It was not really helping. But there we are. Hello, welcome to Streamstructor if you're just joining me. I am here until around about 5 o'clock, and I'm going to be taking comments from you, saying hello, chatting, all the usual fun and frolics that we get here. I am checking out things on my tablet here. If any questions or comments, I should be able to reply straight away if you do type something here in the chat. If you want to leave a comment down below for afterwards, if you're watching this after it's gone live, by all means please do, and I'll try and answer them next time round. I have had one loyal viewer watching most of the time there. Thank you very much for that. Yay, keep it going. But yeah, no, it's really sad, isn't it? Yeah, I've got one person watching. Yeah, I can keep going. But you know, it's actually quite good to have that, and thank you very much for that indeed. Anyway, so yes, I've been broadcasting for about 40 minutes now, and basically I've been playing out some of the best, or some videos from over the 250 that are available on the Deanstructor channel YouTube. I started off with the very first vlog I did. What an embarrassing one that was. 15 minutes of hell for me watching that. It was really cringeworthy watching that bit. That was horrible. And then we've got, and then we had 6 facts of Henry VIII, and then we're going to, well, we've just had the very first Kidstructor, Thomas the Tank Engine. One of the most popular in the channel, as it turns out. And Kidstructor is still going strong. 20 odd episodes later. The next one is obviously out next month. It's actually, it's not Christmas Eve, it's just before, 22nd of December it comes out, so that'll be fun, and that'll be interesting for you. Anyway, yeah, so the stream's been quite healthy. I think maybe it's the technology now starting to play up a little bit with me on my laptop, but I'm still going to keep going. I've got one more thing to view, a bit more discussion here, and this is about Deanstructor Reviews Doctor Who, the series I do reviewing Doctor Who videos. Now, by the end of this month, there will be 25 in total. That's because this month is Who month, as far as I'm concerned. This is the last video that you'll get, which is not Doctor Who related this month. Oh, I nearly dropped my tablet there. Hold on, I'll put that back down. Yeah, so this is the last, this is a live stream information about what's happening in the channel, live stream channel update, I suppose you want to call it. So yeah, this month is all Doctor Who related videos, and I'm doing 4 reviews on Trial of a Time Lord, the Trial of a Time Lord, the Colin Baker season 23 story. The first episode drops at 5 PM today, GMT, 5 PM GMT today, so virtually after this goes out, this stops, more or less. It then will carry on next Sunday with the next part, and then the following Sunday with the following part, and then there's an episode on the Wednesday, 20th of December, for the last bit. And I'll split it into parts 1 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12, and 13 to 14. So they're all up, they're ready to go, and the first one drops at 5 o'clock today, so keep an eye out for that. But it started all the way back in 2017, the reviews, and it's still fun to see it, and still fun to have that as part of my arsenal of Doctor Who related content. It has become the main Doctor Who related content, and I intend to rectify that next time round. But yes, that's what we're going now. Because it's November that this has been put out, it is the anniversary month of Doctor Who first being broadcast in the UK in 1963. So what better way of talking about that than to do the actual very first story as a review, which I did back in 2017. So here we are. Here is my Doctor Who review of An Unearthly Child. Hello everybody, and welcome to another Doctor Who review. This time I go back to the very beginning. So I have in front of me, as always, the television companion. Now this television companion, when it was created in 1998, it's nearly a 20-year-old book. At the time, it had a different name for some of the earlier Hartnell era stories, because for the first 2 and a bit years, each episode was named individually, so they didn't really have a title to lump them all together. Some of the names have still stuck as today goes on. This one hasn't, though. It's called 100,000 BC in this book, even though we now know it traditionally now as An Unearthly Child, which is the name of the very first episode of this story. As always, I've got the plot here, so we'll get on with it and we'll read what the plot synopsis says for this time round. School teachers Barbara Wright and Ian Chesterton become intrigued by one of their pupils, Susan Foreman, and visit her home address, a junkyard at 76 Totters Lane, where they meet her grandfather, the Doctor. The Doctor and Susan are aliens who travel through time and space in their ship, the TARDIS, which looks like an ordinary police box, but actually houses a huge, gleaming control room. The TARDIS takes them all to a Paleolithic landscape where they encounter a tribe that has lost the secret of fire. That's the plotline. Quite short, it doesn't have the full synopsis of it, but this is a 2-tier story. You get the first episode, which is the famous opening episode of them trying to find out who this Susan Foreman actually really is, and then you've got the other 3 episodes when they're trying to trying to escape from the cavemen who have lost the way for fire, so they get caught up a few times. And I just wanted to really do this in 2 sections, this review. The first episode, because of the actual main, the way the episode is, and because it's so iconic, and also then go into the second part, which is effectively a 2-act play, this. So you've got the first part, which is very short, but it's very intriguing, and then you've got the second part, which is more like a run-of-the-mill, what traditionally would be a run-of-the-mill Doctor Who story of the period. So we open up with the theme, the famous theme tune, and a policeman parading round Totters Lane, checking everything's okay on a very foggy winter night in London. And of course, it then goes into the junkyard, and the opening shot before the caption, final opening shot before the caption, is a picture of the TARDIS with the familiar hum that we've become used to knowing. It moves to the school setting with the 2 teachers talking about this pupil that they find a little strange, and decide and agree to come together and actually, arrange to see where she is. They go into this junkyard, find the TARDIS, go into it after confronting the Doctor, and then get sped away into time and space itself, back to the Stone Age, back to the Paleolithic era, as it says here. There's a couple of interesting points that I noticed in this episode, and I will get to the casting in a minute. A couple of things which are quite zeitgeisty, maybe, at the time. The fact they wait for a scrapyard, that's something you wouldn't have nowadays. 2 adults stalking, it seems a bit but they're just intrigued at the end of the day.
There was a mention when one of the flashbacks when they were talking about the decimal system, and Susan mentioned about the decimal system, said, of course, it hasn't started yet. And I thought, that's quite a nice little nod. It's obviously a scripting thing, but it's quite interesting that 8 years later, that's exactly what did happen. Britain went to the decimal system for money. One of the best comments that I have of that one is the comment where the Barbara and Ian are in the car, and she turns around and says,
"Silly, isn't it? I feel frightened, as if we were about to interfere in something that is best left alone."
Quite creepy, you know. It's really, really weird. Really, really intriguing. And the relationship between the two of them is great. You can see that they have a fondness for each other. They always seem to skip on the fact that they may care for each other a little more deeply as the time goes on, and later non-canon and spin-off things indicate that they did hook up as such. And then you've got the first step into the TARDIS and the wonder. And they play it so well. Barbara Wright and Ian Jeston, William Russell and Jacqueline Hill. They play it so right. They really do make the episode worth watching at that point, because you're going, wow, what an amazing idea. This idea of something bigger on the inside of a police box, which you could virtually walk around in about 10 seconds. It's not really something you would expect to see in a junkyard, and they bring that amazement quite brilliantly. And then you've got the Doctor himself, very gruff, but actually, if you think about it, he's actually scared. He doesn't want to be found out. He doesn't want. He's trying to tread carefully. He doesn't want to have. He wants to care for his granddaughter. He wants to travel, but he doesn't want to interfere majorly. He wants to just look. He wants to explore, and he doesn't like the idea of these strangers coming and interfering with his set-up lifestyle, the way he set things up and made things, you know, a life for him and Susan, and they're going to come in and shake it all up. He isn't a great fan of that, and that's probably a part of the reason why he's aloof. He's scared at the end of the day, and that's one thing that people don't realise in the first couple of episodes, that the Doctor's actually scared. It does show later on in the second part. They'll get to that in a minute. But of course, you've got the famous line of
Have you ever thought what it's like to be wanderers in the fourth dimension? Have you? To be exiles? Susan and I are cut off from our own planet, without friends or protection. But one day, we shall get back. Yes, one day.
That's one of the most iconic lines in the series, and it's in the very first episode. And then the second episode has...
If you could touch the alien sand and hear the cries of strange birds and watch them wheel in another sky, would that satisfy you?
That's another clip. There's a couple of famous quotes in this very first couple of episodes that simulate the wonder of what they're doing in the series at that time. And it was such a groundbreaking start. We'll go on to the second set. It is a basic runaround. It's cavemen who basically the actors are acting like children, I think that's how they were told to work, is to work like children, act like children. It does come across like that, and they're played very well. I mean, Aileen Way is great as the old woman. You've got the other characters there as well who are very well played as well. And then you've got, who have we got here? We've got Derek Newitt, who plays Tsar. He's very good. He appears later in Inferno in an even better part. Aletha Charlton, who plays her. Very interesting portrayal of how she's done that. I did enjoy it. She does appear another time. And then you've got Cal, who's Jeremy Young, who is the intruder, the interloper, and the kind of tribal fighting that goes on between them. And then you've got the cast themselves. Speaking of the cast, you've got William Hartnell, of course, as the very first incarnation of the Doctor. Very gruff, very aloof, but as I say, actually playing a Doctor who's actually scared of what might happen and doesn't want to involve himself in adventures if he can get away with it. He wants to just look and watch, and he's excited about where he's going, and he likes to explore, but I get the impression he doesn't really want to interfere at this point, and it does come across in the first few episodes that's exactly what they're doing. They don't the first few stories isn't what they're doing. Obviously the Aztecs, which I reviewed earlier in this series, he mentions you can't rewrite history, not one line. That ethos is there from the beginning. He's there to observe and watch. He's not there to interfere or cause more havoc. Obviously they do get involved. They get in peril there because they get caught out, because the Doctor, for the first and only time, smokes in this story. He gets knocked out of him rather quickly. and I mean rather quickly. Cal knocks him out of him. You never see him light up ever again in the series, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because I don't think we would really want a role model of somebody who'd smoke. So that's a great thing about the Doctor. He never smokes. But yeah, he smoked a pipe and got it knocked out of him, and then he got taken to the cave, to the tribe, and they say he can make fire, and that's the plot, them trying to get fire, and the whole way of him doing it. And they end up helping at the end to get them to get fire, but they thought it was to try and get them to leave so they could disappear, but then Tsar has other ideas. It's an intriguing little plot line, but it's fairly simple. It is really simple by storyline's purposes. You've then got Carol Ann Ford. I'm sorry, the kooky alienness in the first episode, yes, it works. But then she starts very quickly coming into a very scared, screaming stereotype, and she just can't act it. She's terrible. She's rubbish. I don't understand the character. You're kind of glad when Susan goes all those, at the beginning of the following season, because the character doesn't work that well. I prefer Vicky over Susan. I'm sorry. I just prefer the younger character dynamic like Vicky more than I do Susan. I think it just works better. Susan's just obnoxious. She knows she's too cocky. I just don't like the characterization. And I don't like Carol Ann Ford's acting. She's off compared to the other three. Speaking of the other characters, Jacqueline Hill's brilliant as Barbara. She just has the right vulnerability, but there's intelligence there, and she is trying to make her point across. And yeah, she does scream. That's the standard of 60s Doctor Who for any female companion, any female in that case. But she is brave. She is fearless, and she just tried to work along. I think she loves the support of Ian, and William Russell is just. If William Hartnell wasn't the Doctor, wasn't the main focus here, then it certainly would be William Russell's role. He would be the star, because he's brilliant as Ian. I love the characterization. I love the fact that he's quite intelligent and wants to think things through. He is quite he doesn't believe that they've moved until they actually step outside the TARDIS. That's a really interesting point in the way they've done that, and I think that's a really interesting way to do things. But yeah, I love the way he's characterized, and I love William Russell's performance. I think it's really good. Overall, the story is basic fare after the brilliant first episode. The first episode just really sets everything up, and there's plenty of series out there that start with the first episode that kind of establishes what goes on, and then you keep to a formula. The first episode of Doctor Who establishes, what's this? What are they doing? Where are they going? But it's so much of a mystery. It's more like a play for today type mystery at the beginning. It's really an intriguing idea. But I really do like the story. I really do enjoy it, and it is a yearly ritual that I watch at least the very first episode, if not the whole story. Sometimes I can't manage that due to work commitments and other things, but on the 23rd of November every year I've watched that episode, and I still enjoy it today. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I will give you my TARDISes out of 5. If it was like the first episode, it would be 5 out of 5, but the rest of the story is very limited fare. It's not the strongest of the rest of the story, that second part. It's not the strongest writing, so it brings it down to 4 out of 5 TARDISes. But if it wasn't for the other 3 episodes, then it definitely would be my first 5 out of 5 of the series. Anyway, yes, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below. I hope you've enjoyed all the videos we've released this month. My reaction to the 13th Doctor's costume is up there. Or is it up there? I think it's up there. It's one of the two anyway. It's up there somewhere. I can't remember. I think it's that direction anyway. But yeah, that's there. And if you check that out, check my reaction out. And don't forget to check out all the other videos. Next week is a Kidstructor video, as always, for Odd Week, and let's just say we're going a bit more detectory next week when we talk about the character or the TV series that I'm going to be reviewing. If you want to find out what it is, stay tuned. I release a video every Sunday at 4 PM GMT. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. Don't forget to comment below, and don't forget to hit that little notifications bell as well, so you know when the episode is out, when the next video is released. But until then, thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you later.
There we go. the review of An Unearthly Child. Now, obviously, I was mentioning links in that at the beginning of the end of that video and everything, and obviously I'm putting the actual full videos up, so you will see that when you get these come up in the next broadcast and everything else. So yeah, it would have been an Inspector Gadget that would have came out, is what I was alluding to in that one. But that might come up soon in the Kidstructors as well. It will come up soon in the Kidstructors, I know it will. Anyway, so yeah, that was An Unearthly Child, review done in November, released in November 2017. So it's 2 years old, that video now. Interesting, really. But yes, that's it for all the playouts for this. Doesn't mean that we're not quite finished. Any comments that you guys have is fine. I know that there's a slight delay, so obviously I'm talking to nothing at the moment. So if you are watching on this right now, you know, say hi. Please say hi. No, I'm not pleading. I'm not pleading. This is not the point. The point is to try and develop a different style, different video, different way of doing things, and to showcase the channel in different ways and try a different way of growing and progressing. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't actually think I'd have a webcam working, but I've managed to get the phone to become a webcam that links up to everything, which is great. It's brilliant and it's worth looking at, and I'm really pleased that it has worked out quite well. I've been running for just over an hour now. In total, including the 4 minutes of begin shortly music, if we do include that. So we're nearly at 5 o'clock. The next video, Trial for Time Lord, parts 1 to 4, drops at 5 PM GMT, UTC +0. If you want to leave a comment and you're seeing this as part of the replay, leave a comment down below by all means, and I'll try and reply to them next time round. But yes, that's it, I think, for this. Thank you guys for watching. All of you have been watching live and obviously on when it's replayed later on today. It will be released later on YouTube for you to see, and it will be available as part of a playlist going forward as well. But until then, yes, if you like this channel as a whole, don't forget to like it and share it with the hashtag Teamstructor. And I'm not able to put the hashtag up here somewhere. Unfortunately, this time it's not going to happen. However, if you do like this video, don't forget to like it and share it with the hashtag Teamstructor, of course. Please do. If you like this channel as a whole, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you know when a new video comes out. And there will be more than just a video every Sunday at 4 PM GMT this year, UTC +0. This month, because there's extra things that are going on top of it. But that's it for now. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for bearing with me here. I know there's been a few technical issues. It's actually turned out better than I expected with the technicalities as well, and it's worked quite well. Very limited drop frames, being a constant viewer virtually all the way through. Yeah, it's a good start. It can only get better from here, and certainly it should come out a lot better than the very first vlog did, which is still an embarrassment to me. Anyway, but thank you guys for watching once again, and I shall leave it there. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Yeah, I'll do a review in a couple of minutes time, but until next time we meet, see you later.